Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Julie and today you are joining me on a brand new Feng Shui video. We are talking about how to improve the Feng Shui of your studio or apartment. Whether you're dealing with a single bedroom, a loft, a studio, or an apartment with multiple bedrooms, follow these tips to bring positive energy and good chi into your space. If this is your first time landing on the channel, welcome. My name is Julie and I am a certified interior designer with over 18 years of experience in the industry. I have multiple degrees in psychology and interior design and I am absolutely obsessed with Feng Shui. While I'm not an expert in the field, I do consider myself a lifelong practitioner. There's so many facets and nuances to Feng Shui that make it dynamic. It makes it so interesting, and especially when you deal with the interior setting and the energy in your space, I feel like there is so much positive energy and good chi that you can surround yourself with. Having been surrounded by Feng Shui masters my entire childhood and now practicing it in my adult years with my own home, using specific guides and principles of Feng Shui has the power to shift your mood, inspire productivity, create more calm in your life, or on the flip side, create more chaos. The foundation of Feng Shui has everything to do with the elements of the earth. One of the most common questions that I get asked is, how do you Feng Shui a small space, a studio, or an apartment? You might be limited on space, you might have too much furniture. How do you lay out your home and position your furniture, especially in a small space, when you want to bring in more wealth, luck, and prosperity? Now, depending on what you want to attract more in life, follow these simple tips and of course avoid these taboos when it comes to Feng Shui for your small space or apartment. The first tip is to demarcate the space. You want to sketch out your space on a blank sheet of paper and create zones. Now that you have a sketch of your space, you want to break it up into 9 equal quadrants and overlay the Bagua map directly on top of it. We'll bring you up to speed with a really quick refresher on the Bagua map and the different compass directions and the elements that symbolize each corner. You have 8 main sectors that correspond to each element, with Earth being right in the center. North corresponds to the water element, with the colors being blues and blacks. East corresponds to the wood element, with colors being greens and browns. South corresponds to the fire element, with colors red, yellow, and orange. West corresponds to the metal element, with colors white, gold, and silver. Now within these main quadrants, you also have northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest. So you want to pay attention to the grid of your layout, the corresponding compass directions, so you can figure out the elements of each sector and how they correspond to certain attributes and sectors that you want to activate this year. For instance, if you want to activate the career sector of your life, or you want to bring in more wealth and money, you want to pay attention to the southeast sector of your home and place elements there that symbolize money. It could be coins, it could be a gold necklace, it could be your diamond ring, it could be cold hard cash. Feng Shui is all about symbolism, so think about the key elements that would play up a particular symbol in that sector. The next tip to improving the Feng Shui of your apartment is to create a landing space. Your front door is considered the mouth of your home. This is where Qi enters. Qi simply refers to the universal life energy that is attached to pretty much everything around you. It could be living plants, animals, inanimate objects such as your furniture, your chairs, your consoles, your table. You want to allow the flow of Qi to meander in your space. To create an auspicious landing zone, you'll demarcate the small space directly opposite the front entry door for incoming Qi to settle. This will allow Qi to take in your space before moving around. In order to create an auspicious landing zone, you can place plants or other auspicious decorative objects like a painting of trees or landscape. Even crystals or a small water feature like a fishbowl would be auspicious elements in the landing zone so that you can invite better Qi into your space. The next tip is to find your auspicious sector. What does auspicious mean? Auspicious is really just a fancy term for lucky. So if you want to bring more auspicious elements into a particular sector of the home, you would add more elements that correspond to that sector. You want to arrange your apartment so that your living area falls within the lucky sector that you're trying to promote this year. You can also arrange your bedroom so that the head of your bed or your desk falls within this lucky sector. If you want to promote a better relationship, if you're coupled in the bedroom, then you would want to ignite that corner. The love and relationship corner could be decorated with colors of pink and purples, anything that promotes love and coupling. If you see a really beautiful painting with a pair of birds on it, or a really beautiful mural with pairs of trees, think in terms of two so you can symbolize a coupling in a relationship. Your lucky sector is not stagnant. It could really change from year to year. It could also change a few times within a year. So the feng shui of your particular apartment or the lucky sector in your apartment can change over time. The next tip to improve the feng shui of your apartment is to use furniture to create space. What does that mean? How do you use furniture to create space? For studios and open concept spaces, you're really living in one huge space. There's no walls to separate rooms, so the only way that you could really create space and different zones and seating groups is with furniture. You can use the back of the sofa to create a living room. You could use an area rug to help ground a dining space. You could also use a tall bookcase or privacy screen if you want to treat an alternate area as another room. Using furniture to create space will also help you demarcate zones, especially in an open studio concept. What if you live in an apartment with multiple bedrooms? Feng Shui principles guide that the lead parent, whether or not that's the mom, the dad, whoever makes the most money in a household, that's usually the breadwinner, should get the best room in the home. That person or couple should occupy the bedroom that is the most auspicious for their lucky sector or their Khuu number. Understanding your Khuu number and how it relates to feng shui is going to be an entirely another video. So if you want a more detailed explanation on how to get your Khuu number, how to figure out your specific lucky sector, definitely give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment below letting me know that that is what you want in the next feng shui video. Now that you understand the priorities when it comes to improving the feng shui of your studio apartment, let's get into all of those do's and don'ts. Don't use excessive plants in your studio apartment. But why wouldn't you use indoor plants, especially when you've heard that indoor plants bring so much great positive energy? The reason you don't want to use indoor plants in your studio space is because your studio is simply one large room. Your bedroom is a part of your studio, and plants in the bedroom have too much active energy for a yin place of rest. Remember that plants are a living, breathing entity, which means that they have active energy that's tied to the plant. Active energy cancels out restful energy. So you always want your bedroom to be a place of rest. It induces a good night's sleep. It helps promote productivity the next day after you've had great sleep and great rest. But how can you do that when you're surrounded by living energy? However, if you want to bring in more positive energy and more fresh air and good chi into a studio apartment that has demarcated zones, you can absolutely do that. If your bedroom is off in one far corner and your living area is off in another, you can absolutely add more plants to the living area, but you definitely want to keep it out of the bedroom. Don't use water features in a studio or apartment or a single bedroom. It's the same idea as plants. Water elements have active yang energy, especially if the water is flowing, like you're on a beach or it's a picture of waves. Anytime the water has movement in it, it's considered an active energy. So remember, no active energies for a place of sleep or rest. Do use water features in a multi-room apartment to activate the place of prosperity water. Take out your compass and notate the east, southeast, and north sectors of your apartment. You only need to activate one of them, or 3 has the potential to symbolically drown you. Think a small aquarium, a small fishbowl, a water fountain. Active yang water that is flowing or bubbling is best for creating prosperity energy in your apartment. Don't use any mirrors, especially when they reflect the bed or the bedroom area. Why don't you want to use mirrors? Mirrors reflect too much energy and they're constantly bouncing around too much energy when you're trying to get a good night's sleep. Do, however, use mirrors to reflect beautiful landscape like distant mountains, a peaceful lake scene, a vibrant meadow, or green fields. These symbolically welcome the positive chi of nature into your home. Using mirrors are especially auspicious for living rooms and common areas, but remember, no mirrors in the bedroom or a studio space that reflects the bed. These same feng shui tips apply whether you're sleeping on a regular bed, a sofa bed, a Murphy bed, a futon, or a day bed. So remember that if you're using mirrors in your studio or apartment, don't reflect the bed or you're creating too much active energy. The next tip is to get rid of all that clutter. Rooms with too much clutter or that are left empty or barely used, qi can stagnate and affect all members of the home. So remember to get rid of all of that clutter, keep it corralled in a neat little basket or a bin, and make sure you regularly open all the doors and the windows of a barely used room so qi can permeate the space. Let's talk about those long corridors that you might have in your studio, apartment, or your home. Long corridors causes qi to move in a fast straight line, and this is not ideal. You want to slow down qi by using bright light or paintings on the wall, or even framed photography. Do not block or overcrowd the hall or qi will get blocked. You can also add in vibrant plants as long as they don't block that corridor. If you have a room at the end of the corridor, it's especially important to help direct qi to move down the hall and into the bedroom or office. This is why you want to pick up everything off the floors and relegate decorative objects to the walls. My favorite feng shui tip for long corridors is to install symmetrical wall sconces down the line. You can add in hardwired wall sconces, you can add in battery-operated motion sensor lights, or flush-mounted ceiling lights, which will promote better qi and greater positive energy. If you have a balcony with a super imposing view, it could be a really large building that towers over your apartment space. It could also be a building where the corner of the building creates a poison arrow that shoots right through into your space. Do protect your sanctuary by installing thick curtains or drapery panels to block the view. But what if half of your view is really lovely and the other half is a total eyesore? Well, that's the pros and cons of feng shui. That's something that you're going to have to weigh out yourself and feel out the natural energy of either using curtains to block that view and then record how the changes affect your mood. That's the only way for you to truly know whether or not that view is a pro or a con. Do use crystals to activate sunlight qi. This is the most purest and most benevolent form of good qi is natural sunlight. During sunny days, hang a small lead-faceted crystal in the window to catch the light and create auspicious rainbows in your space. This brings in great wealth and relationship luck, not just for marriages and partnerships. Do this every time you see that sunlight peeking through your windows in a really aesthetic way. That is what's going to keep those good vibes coming into your home. That's it for today's video. What did you think of my tips for improving the feng shui of your studio or apartment? Remember that I do have a really huge feng shui playlist if you want to catch up on any of the previous videos. I talk about feng shui for your front door, for your entry, for your bedrooms. There are so many ways for you to harness all of that good qi, all of that good energy, and bring it more into your space. Qi is a really important feng shui term for positive energy. You'll hear good qi on this channel a lot. Not to be confused with Gucci, which really coincidentally kind of mean the exact same thing. So before you get caught up in all of the feng shui terminology, just remember you want good qi. If you like this type of content and you want more feng shui tips on the channel, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment below and let me know if you have any questions when it comes to your personal feng shui practice. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click that little notification bell to be notified of new videos that we drop on the channel every single Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week.